by the name of Grandison Harris and would send him to a cemetery by the name of Cedar Grove, a cemetery there in Georgia, and he would dig up dead bodies in the cemetery, and he digged up so many dead bodies they gave him the nickname the Resurrection Man. Yes, these things actually happen. I want you to look up Cedar Village in Georgia and how the CIA and the government released over 300,000 mosquitoes so they could see how yellow fever interacts or affects the body. That happened in 1955. Mass murder, cover-ups, and exploitation of black people. And I also talked about the Trail of Tears briefly with our Native American brothers, how they forced them out of North Carolina and Tennessee and all those areas and made them walk to the Midwest, to places like Oklahoma and Arizona. How do you think so many Native Americans are in those areas on reservations? It's because of the Trail of Tears, and they forced them there via President Andrew Jackson, and laced their blankets that they gave them as a humanitarian act with smallpox, chemical and biological warfare, mass murder, cover-ups, and exploitation of our people. Finishing up, another school shooting today? What is going on? In Maryland, another school shooting, 2 injured, the gunman killed. I think he was 17-year-old white dude, and he supposedly got upset because his 14-year-old girlfriend supposedly didn't want to be with him no more, so he shot her, injured another one, and then the police had to take him out. A good friend of mine in that area actually sent me a message and said the male victim that got shot but survived was her co-worker's cousin. I'm going to say that again. A good friend of mine sent me a message and said their co-worker's cousin was the male victim in that Maryland shooting today. I don't know the answer to all this other than America is going crazy. They are losing their mind. But anyone that has children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, anything in the school, you can go to the front desk and ask them, do they have a strict policy of buzzing guests who are not staff members into the school? I work in schools. When I was in North Carolina, I was a counselor and a mentor in the school system. I used to work with children that had mental health problems and children that had behavior and mental and emotional problems. I was in and out of schools all throughout North Carolina. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that, and I'm not talking bad about anyone, I'm just telling you what I observed. You wouldn't believe the secretaries at these schools, how they just buzz people in. Don't even ask who they are. Someone just comes, buzz the door. Any school, no matter where they at, you just don't walk in there. You gotta buzz, you gotta hit the bell, and the secretary is supposed to let you. They don't even ask who they are a lot of times, why they're there, who they're there to see, and if they do, by the time they're asking them, they're already in the school. I know some people will say, well, some of these shootings were outside. I know. I don't know the answer to that, other than instead of these government officials in these cities and these local districts being so cheap, they need to have around-the-clock security officers at these schools, so when these children are outside, they have some kind of protection and some kind of deterrent to deter some nut from just walking up and blasting innocent, unprotected children. But they're going to say they don't have the money to do that and it's not in the budget. So a child's life isn't in the budget? That's very interesting. So if they're not even doing that at white schools, you know we're not going to get no extra help. But not all these shootings have been outside. Some of these nuts have came inside the school and started blasting. My suggestion would be for you to ask, especially if you're in a public school, to go and ask, do you have some kind of policy that of buzzing these people in? Are you checking? Are you asking before you just buzz anyone in? Once they're in, we're almost at their mercy. But this is a bunch of crazy white men doing this. You ain't hearing this about in inner cities and inner city black schools doing this. They talk about the Bloods and the Crips and the Serenos and the M13s, but I ain't heard nothing about no gangs going to inner city schools and just blasting innocent children. If I heard about it, I'd like someone to produce it, because if it happened, they would run us in the ground about it. There they go again. But when they do it, it's someone disturbed. So again, today in Maryland, this morning, a disturbed lover, so to speak, ran up on his 14-year-old girlfriend and another person and started shooting and they're thinking it's because he was disgruntled because their relationship dissolved. What has happened to our young people? We already know they're demonic, but what is going on with America? People are losing their natural mind. So we have to be vigilant in any step or precaution that we can take to protect our children, because I don't want this to happen to anyone. I don't get no joy out of seeing innocent children. Just in Florida, a couple weeks ago, this happened. Nuts just going up to schools, blasting children. But they always make excuses. I don't see them calling them Christian terrorists. But as soon as a Muslim looks wrong or blinks wrong, or they think they got something on him, he's a Muslim terrorist. How can you be a Muslim terrorist? Those two words don't even go together. A Muslim is someone who submits his will to God and lives for peace, for God and humanity. How can you be a peaceful terrorist? I'm going to say it again. A Muslim is someone who submits his will to God. Islam, the religion, means peace. How can you be a peaceful terrorist, since they gave the label Islamic terrorist or Muslim terrorist? How can you be a peaceful terrorist? That's Western society with their games and their lies and their propaganda. But I don't ever hear anyone say a Christian terrorist. Did they call Dylan Roof a Christian terrorist? The one that went up in that church and shot 9 innocent, defenseless people? To my Christian family, y'all need to wake up. Don't let anyone roll up into your place of worship and you don't check them. You can call it what you want. The nation checks and does security checks before you roll in their mosque. So you are safe. So they are safe. And they check everyone. Oh, I don't believe in that Muslim stuff. Well, ain't no one rolling up in there, pouring out no guns, shooting the minister and killing people. Common sense to me. When Malcolm got assassinated, he didn't have his security with him the day he got assassinated. And the person that shot him was a hired CIA informant, which was someone he was supposed to be able to trust. And when he was up there gurgling for his breath, a nurse came up there and acted like she was giving CPR when she wasn't, because she was hired by the government. That Malcolm didn't have his security with him that day. That's why whoever did it, them 5 people were. That's why they had such easy access to pull out weapons, because they would have never got past the security with no big rifles and stuff like that. We have to pray as well as watch, no matter where you are, because Satan is everywhere. I just told you a couple minutes ago, the most 2 powerful forces in existence is God and the devil. Both of them have many followers, but the devil plans and God plans. But God is the best of planners. So we have to wake up. We got to stop living in a fantasy world. And this is advice to my Christian family. You got to be more aware of your surroundings. Do you know it's some nut out there that may be a copycat and want to do what Dylan Roof did? Are we waiting for the next tragedy? Just waiting for the next nut to go off? These are deranged white men doing these things. They ain't the Bloods, the Crips. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Angelo. The Bloods, the Crips, and the Serenos, they ain't doing this at schools. I don't agree with violence anywhere, but they're not doing it at schools. So again, the title of this lecture is called A History of Mass Murder, Cover-Ups, and Exploitation of Black People in America. Look up those, again, for those who are coming in. Bones in the Basement by Dr. Robert Blakely. What happened at the Medical College of Georgia, and I will repost this message. Them releasing 300,000 mosquitoes in Carver Village in a neighborhood in Georgia in 1955. In 1959, the Wrightsville 21 69 boys, black boys at a boarding school in Arkansas, padlocked in a dorm at a boarding school. And a fire just mysteriously breaks out at 4 in the morning. They can't get out. And then 48 boys had to bust out windows and get out. And then 21 boys die in the fire. Unbelievable. Yes, Indians too. I mentioned them, brother. I mentioned them also. The Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears. So look up those stories. I'll leave you in peace as I came. We will keep on spreading messages to lift the mind, body, and soul of our people and to awaken our people. This isn't hate. How come every time someone, especially a black man, tries to awaken our people with facts? I'm not telling you what I think or what I feel. I'm giving you facts. Every time we try to wake up our people, it's labeled as hate, is racism. He's angry. This is facts. I'm not making this stuff up. And the hour of power makes up nothing. I can prove everything I say with no limit or time. With no limit or time. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be talking about it. And there's no justice behind these atrocities. They can talk about the Holocaust and any other thing that happened to anyone else. And it's you being patriotic. But as soon as we talk about our sufferings and what has happened to us, which no one else in humankind has suffered like us, now it's racism. It's hate. And he's bringing up the past. Things that we're still suffering from. Let's wake up. Let's spread peace. Let's reach out to the Most High and ask him for forgiveness for our sins, our shortcomings, and our faults. And even if you don't do, and as long as your heart is sincere, even if you make a sin or a mistake, God will forgive you if you have sincerity of the heart. I will no longer let anyone make me feel guilty, and I have to prove myself to anyone when I know I'm doing the best I can to bring about peace, to educate my people the best that I can to my ability, and when God knows I have no intention to hurt or bring anyone any ill will. No one. It is against the spirit of Islam to bring anyone any kind of hardship or pain in any way, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual. I can't call myself a Muslim and do that. But I will not break my neck and pang myself and make myself sick trying to prove myself to anyone. Because God knows my heart. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. I leave you in peace as I came. To my Muslim family, assalamu alaikum. To my Christian family, praise the Lord. To my Hebrew Israelite family, shalom. To my Black conscious family, hotep. And to my people on the streets, what's good to you? It all means peace. Spread the message for me. Thank you.